Hey guys, thank you for joining us with another options trading chat. My name is David Jaffee and I'm here with John. John, please introduce yourself.
How you doing, David? My name is John Greathouse. I have a YouTube channel called Core Position Trading. I've been online for about 5 years doing videos teaching people how to trade using covered calls and cash secure puts. I try to bring it to you straight talk style. I try to show you the world through my eyes. And I'll tell you what, David, I've been watching you for the past 5 years. It is an honor to speak with you today. I truly want to thank you for this opportunity, just because you have such great videos and so many people can learn from the videos you put out. So I'm really excited about this discussion tonight.
Thank you. I am as well. My channel is youtube.com/beststockstrategy, and I also sell puts. And John, can you briefly discuss your trading strategy? I know that you mentioned cash secure puts, like maybe give us a rundown of your strategy and also perhaps talk about like your experience and how you arrived at selling cash secured puts, because a lot of people, they try other strategies before settling upon something that works really well.
Most definitely. So, David, I cannot tell my story without showing you my mentor and best friend, Jerry. If you give me a few minutes here, give me a little runway, and I'll land this for you. How I started 5 years ago is this. I was a swing trader, day trader, trying to be good, trying to have success, trying to make the ends meet with trading stocks. I'll tell you what, I was not good. And I'll tell you what, for me, it was very humbling and disappointing that for years I thought I knew what I was doing. I didn't. I met my best friend and mentor, Jerry, at the gym, and we would just talk. And I'll tell you what, he is sort of my soulmate when it comes to the stock market. And you know this, David, it's hard in life to meet anyone that you can talk to about the stock market. I mean, you could talk about sports or celebrities all day long, but to find that soulmate for which you could talk stocks is hard. And Jerry and I bonded. And when I came back from a Las Vegas trip, for which I was seriously emotionally down because I was trying to make some swing trades for which I wasn't profitable. But what I realized was I wasn't good. And that's hard, right? That's hard to take when for years you think you're good and you tell people you're good. I wasn't good, David. And Jerry sat there and said, John, I'm going to teach you how I put food on the table in retirement. And Jerry at that moment showed me how to sell premium. Now, we're talking the very basic premium. We own 100 shares. We write a covered call. We do this again and again. So for 30 years, Jerry has done this, putting money on his table. And he told me, John, you are absolutely done with everything you've been doing. I'm going to show you how to have success, because at the end of the day, it's all about having success, because I have to put food on the table. So I have to have a mindset of success. So I want to do it again and again. So fast forward some 5 years. That's what I try to do on my YouTube channel. I am paying it forward literally. Okay. You have to understand, Jerry became a blessing for me. He taught me how to sell premium, but more importantly, he showed me how to have success in the stock market. And that's what I try to show people. This is not rocket science. You can learn this, okay? And if you take the time, educate yourself, and actually do that very first trade, that very safe trade, you'll have that success. And I love to tell this story because when Jerry showed me or talked to me about doing my very first cover call trade, and David, you'll probably identify with this as well. I came back after placing that trade. Jerry told me exactly what to do. I did it, and I felt the trade. It was instantly different from anything else I was doing. Selling premium is so, it can be conservative, but more importantly, it can be easy. And I know in today's fake guru world where they talk about making millions without doing anything, nobody wants to believe that it really can be easy, because the stock market for a lot of people is a different language. But see, once I did that first easy, safe trade, I felt it. And Jerry said to me, okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to manage this trade. 2 days later, I bought it back. And you know exactly what I mean, David. I bought it back and we did it again. And I was 100% all in. And 6 months later, by August 2016, I was 100% selling premium. I have a buy and hold portfolio. I have a dividend portfolio. But at the end of the day, I'm all about selling premium. So with that said, I will use my cash to buy stocks, write covered calls. I use my cash for cash secure puts. I use opportunities in the stock market because I have this day trader, swing trader mentality. I still have that in me. I love to be more active with my options. So I'll write a covered call, and if an option falls some 50%, meaning the stock has fallen, and my option has fallen some 50% in the first 2 weeks, I'll buy it back. I'll buy it back and I look for another opportunity, because for me, every day and every trade is an opportunity, 100%. And I do that the same way with the puts. I love it when the stock market falls like we have over the past couple of weeks. I look at it as an opportunity for success.
Right.
I use my cash. Yeah, I use my cash and I position it well. I just got involved in the TQs. That's the 3X leveraged ETF of the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ has fallen considerably, very violently. I use those as opportunities to pick up big premiums. And what we do is we manage the trade. So I got paid $10 for a 127 at the money cash secure put on the TQs, the NASDAQ index. And I could have bought it back today, just 3 days later, for $5. I was going to, ran out of time. Point is, that's what we do. We're more active. We look at every opportunity to buy it back, to do it again, because I would have bought that back for $5, pocketing over $500, and I would have done another at the money and probably pick up another $9. So that's my mindset, David. I'm very active because I have the swing trader, day trader, but I've incorporated that into selling premium, and I try to share that with people on my channel. You know, this is not hard, and I really encourage everybody that wants to put money on the table in retirement, sell premium. Sell
premium. Why do you think there's a big disparity in success between day trading and selling premium? Can you discuss what you feel the difference is in your success as a premium seller versus your attempt to day trade, and why you're more successful selling premium?
So we get paid up front. This is the beautiful thing. And I try to tell people all the time, look, if you're trying to beat the S&P 500, the annualized S&P 500, you have to make about 8%, right? That's where wealth managers get paid, right? They take the retirees' accounts, they try to make 8%, right? They party like it's 1999 when they achieve 8%. Well, David, you know as well as I do, we could use big companies like Microsoft, Bristol Myers, Merck. We can buy the stock, sell an out of the money covered call, collect 3% cash on cash on the table. So for me, the edge, the 100% edge of selling premium is they pay us up front. It's literally, they come into the casino, the option buyers, they come into the casino to bet, and that's fine. Okay, I'm not going to discourage anybody from trying to buy options, but I'm going to sell options, right? David, I buy the stock, I give somebody the right to buy the stock from me at a price I pick. I pick the time frame, and then I get the premium. I get paid. I get paid up front 3, 4, 5% up front. So where's the edge? The edge is with me, because as you know, options decay. They have a potential of 0. With me, of the 3 possible outcomes, David, we win 2 out of 3. And the third outcome, we still own the shares. And if we're playing great S&P type companies, well, you know as well as I, David, at the end of the day, we're going to sell another covered call. So
Right,
that's all right. Selling premium, get paid up front.
Right, because when you sell premium, especially if you sell an out-of-the-money put, you can win whether this stock stays the same, it goes up, or it even goes down because you have that adequate safety net. And especially because the expected volatility is almost always more than the actual volatility. And in the worst case scenario, when the actual volatility is more than the expected, just like you said, you're able to then take ownership of a stock which we believe is then oversold. So then you can sell calls on it, and you can also participate in the upside of the stock, right? Whereas when you're day trading, you're essentially like placing a wager that you believe that dollar for dollar, whichever direction the underlying stock moves, that's going to directly impact your net liquidation value and your P&L. So you don't have a safety net. Whereas when you sell options, you're collecting that money up front. And even if the stock goes against you, then you still have a large possibility and a large probability of earning a profit on that stock.
Yes, sir.
And right now, are you mostly selling covered calls, or are you also buying shares and then selling calls on it? Like, what's your primary strategy? Are you selling out of the money covered? Are you selling out of the money put options that are cash secured, or are you primarily buying shares and then selling calls on it?
Okay, so to answer that question, I will tell you this. I have to kind of set this up a bit. I will use all of that. Out of the money strikes, hit the money, but I am primarily an at the money guy. You know, when I first started selling premium, I was just like most people. I'd buy the stock, I'd sell the out of the money strike, collect a little bit of premium, but that cash on cash, if my shares were taken away, was pretty big, right? We could buy Bristol Myers and collect 80 cents on a 30-day premium, but because of the stock move, we make 5%. And at the time, early on in my trading, that was good enough for me. Fast forward 5 years, fast forward thousands of trades that I've done. I am a juice guy, man. I love taking the juice of the at the money strike, just like the TQs I just shared with you earlier. You know, the NASDAQ could fall, right? The TQs could fall another 10 to 20 points. And I showed you an email I sent to my members. Look, you have to expect this thing to fall. But if you're like me, this is an opportunity. Market's going to trade sideways to higher. I'm going to sell the at the money cash secure put 127, collect $10, and we're going to manage the trade. So to answer your question, I play them all, but I love the juice of the at the money strike because it pays the fattest premium. And then I manage the trades. I've been in Mara. Okay. I've been in Mara for like 6 months, and I love using one stock, multiple trades, cash secure puts, covered calls. I love selling it, buying it back. We do it again. We do it again. So yeah, I love the at the money strikes.
So how often do you take ownership of the stock versus how often, like, when you manage it, do you usually like roll the position and extend the duration and then roll down the strike? Or do you have a tendency to take assignment and then sell calls against the shares?
So with cash secure puts, I generally want to own the stock, and I have a plan. I always tell everybody on my channel, have a plan, execute the plan. The plan, when I execute the cash secure put, is we're going to be assigned the shares. Okay, that's the plan. So we're going to sell that cash secure put, and if we're assigned the shares, we're going to roll right around and we're going to do the covered call. Right? We want to sell premium on these shares. My selling premium stocks do not sit on the bench unless they're seriously down. Sometimes you got to put them on the bench because, you know, it's just tough to sell calls when they're down quite a bit.
Right. Especially because if things oversold, it has a tendency to bounce back up relatively rapidly. So if you're down money on it, you don't necessarily want to sell a call that's too close to the current market price, because then it could actually get called away from you at a price that you actually don't want.
Most definitely. Most definitely. And you know, I'll tell you what, so to follow up on your question, I will roll. And in fact, I did that today with Mara. I had a 39 at the money cash secure put on Mara. It fell to some $32. Bitcoin has rallied because of the inflation talk. It hit 39 yesterday. So I think I had a $7 put. That $7 put was trading at about 250. So because Mara's now trading at 37-ish, I went ahead, I bought it back, right? Meaning I got paid more than I actually bought it back for. So I put $1,500 in the wallet, done. It's on the table paying bills. Now I rolled down to the 37 strike because my 39 strike was going to be challenged, right? This is coming due next Friday. I wanted to own the shares, but with the opportunity to buy that option back and make money, we're going to roll it down and we're going to go another 30 days because I pocketed $1,500 on a $3,900 investment, right? That's real money. That's I think that's 7.75% in 25 days. So yes, be active in your options. Sell them, buy them back. It's an opportunity to make more money because here's the deal, David. If I let that expire next week, and let's say it expires at 39, I'm assigned the shares or I'm not. I made whatever I made. I made $2,000. But because of this trade I've done, I potentially can make 3,500. And that's how I see it. Always looking at opportunities. I'm a half cup full guy.
And what's your usual duration on the options that you sell?
So I'm a 30-day guy. I started out around 45 days. I used Whirlpool for what seemed to be a year. Love selling the 3-month option. Could pick up fat $12 premiums, and I would just buy them back. Right? I'd write the 3-month premium, get $12. The thing would fall down to $7. Buy it back. You know, I'm pocketing something like $5 in less than a month. That's like real money on 100 shares, right? And then I do another one. Then I started getting into the higher volatility stocks and the 3X leveraged ETFs. And the at the money 30-day strike paid 10% on my premiums. I mean, 10%. This is at the money. So I love the 30-day. Now, with that said, I will play weekly options. One of the things on my channel, if anyone here visits my channel, Core Position Trading, over the past year, I've done multiple challenges. And, you know, David, you know as well as I do, when you're on YouTube, even with a small social presence, people are always skeptical. They always want to be that guy, man. They want to kick you when you're down. So over the years, I've been challenged. I did a challenge where I was going to make $1,000 a week for 10 weeks using the same money. We were going to use the cash secure put and the covered call, but it would be the same money. And I started that with UPRO, the 3X leveraged ETF to the S&P 500. And I think I invested $42,000. I bought 1,000 shares, but I used that same money. Okay, this is all documented. Same money, 42 grand. I would sell the cash secure put. I would do it again. I'd be assigned the shares. I would write the covered call, right? I made $19,000 in a 10-week period. So I love the weekly. I love the 30-day. The 30-day is my wheelhouse, David.
And what type of underlyings do you tend to target? Is it a lot of leveraged ETFs, or do you go for larger companies? Or obviously, it seems like you're going for liquid underlyings because option sellers, they need the liquidity. But what's your what type of underlyings do you tend to target?
Okay, so remember my roots in all of this, okay? My man Jerry, and hold on. Okay, I'm not selling nothing, but this is my man, David. If you know my story, it's because of this cat that I'm even here. I love Jerry, and I'm going to forward him this. Hey, Jerry, I love you. Jerry showed me we can do this with great S&P type companies. He said, look, John, we can use Chevron. We can use Bristol Myers. We can use Merck. So in the beginning, I was very conservative, and that's what I did. Then as I got more experienced, What happens, David, is this. You build a mindset, and you know this as well as I do. A lot of people that get involved in the stock market, they're a little sketchy. They're a little fearful. They don't get it. And a 1 or 2 point move in Apple could literally get them out of the stock market, right? So as you learn this, you become more comfortable with risk. So that's how my journey has come. I am now using 3x leverage ETFs, but I use 3M, ADV. I love the covered call with dividend capture. 100% use that about every other month, where I use a great company that pays a fat dividend. I love to split the X date with a juicy 30-day covered call, pick up both the fat premium, pick up the fat dividend, and then hope to have my shares taken away if I've done it right. I will use any stock, to be honest with you. But with that said, S&P type 500, S&P 500 type companies, but then I get into the more high volatility ones. To be honest with you, last year with my channel, a lot of people criticized me. They said, John, you're using about $225,000 for your portfolio. Well, anybody can make $3,000 a month with 225K. So of course that's John, and you're challenging me. So last year it was all about using stocks that were $50 or less. So last year when I broke my record of $110,000 selling premium, I used all of the stocks that are that were 40, $50. I used Pinterest, DraftKings, Penn. Okay. I used a lot of stocks that were priced under $100, largely because my members and my YouTube channel were saying, look, show us the money. Show me you can use a small amount of cash and generate the same money. So of course I took the challenge, because for one, taking challenges like that motivates me. Motivating me, keeping me in the stock market, that means I'm having success. I'm telling you, David, at the end of the day, this discussion really needs to be about mindset, because you know as well as I do, if you don't have the winning mindset, you will let one day, 1 week, 1 month go, and you'll be out of the stock market. And you're not having success. You're not preparing for retirement. You're not putting money on the table. That's my mindset. So I will use any stock, any amount of volatility. Hell, I'm using Rocket Mortgage right now. That has no volatility, but I love it. Trades in a perfect trading range. Okay. So with that said, I use them all, but more importantly, get your experience, get your comfort level, and you can use any stock, people, any stock.
Have you thought about using margin, or why do you feel comfortable? What was the reason behind? Because I find it a little interesting that you're using leverage ETFs, but you're also trading cash secured puts. So you're trading cash secured options, but you're using leverage products. Whereas like the leverage products are inherently, they have a lot of intraday volatility. They're also a little bit risky because month over month they have decay. But at the same time, you're not using margin, you're using cash secured. So I think that that's a really interesting dynamic there, because you're reducing your risk and you're protecting yourself from trading too large by using cash secured. I remember in February, it was February 5th, 2018, where if you were trading like UVXY or SVXY, when the VIX increased from about like 15 or maybe even below that, I think it was trading at about, it was like a Friday, I think February 5th, 2018. And the VIX was trading about like 12 or 13, and it popped all the way up to about like 35. And I think SVXY at the time, I think SVXY, it was trading at about like 120, and then it fell all the way to about like 15 or 20. And then they had to like change how they calculated the prices on SVXY, and then they changed the formula. But my question is, why are you trading cash secured as opposed to using margin? Is that also an influence of Jerry, or is that something that you use to mitigate risk?
Yeah, so yes, I mean, to answer your question, yes. For me, it's all about, my YouTube channel is largely about, it's an experiment in retirement. I'm in retirement. and I'm going to use a small portfolio to generate income in retirement, paying the bills, living the good life. That's 100% genuine. So for me, when I started this journey on YouTube and where I'm at today, it's been about, if I'm in retirement and I have $225,000 in a small portfolio, can I use the selling premium strategy? Now, in the beginning, selling margin is not a question, right? When you got 225K, you don't need margin, particularly when you're taking 300 share bites for Bristol Myers or, Merck at the time. They were trading for $40, right? Well, as I've grown and I've talked to what seems to be thousands of people worldwide, a lot of people don't use margin. So I've decided, I've made a conscious effort, I'm not going to use margin, because that's where most people are at. You have your younger investors with much more risk. They're willing to take on risk with margin. There's risk that comes with margin. But me, I decided Jerry never did margin. I don't have to do margin right now. And all the feedback I'm getting, they don't use margin. So if I'm going to try to show people in retirement how to generate that income, David, then guess what? I got to be like them. So that's why I get this question all the time. John, you've made $350,000 since you started this YouTube channel selling premium every year. Why don't you take that money and roll it into your selling premium portfolio? You'd be a millionaire on YouTube, right? No, because I'm using that premium in retirement. I've spent that $1,500 that I told you I made on Mara today. So for me, it's all about, let's keep it as simple as possible. Let's forget all the lingo and all the highfalutin this, that, or the other. Keep it as simple as possible, because when we're in retirement, we need to keep it simple because we need to put money on the table. So to answer your question, I use leveraged ETFs because I'm trading indexes, right? I'm not trading an individual stock. I can get busted. I own Win at 200 when my man Steve Wynn got involved with what. Okay. So stocks are, you just don't know with stocks. But if I'm going to throw thousands and thousands of shares at anything leveraged, it's going to be an index. And I did that last year with UPRO, TQs, and UDOW. Made tons of money. And I love it because mentally, mindset-wise, I'm playing an index, right? I'm playing an index. So if I believe the stock market was going to rally out of the March 2020 lows, then I'm going to play it 3x leverage. So really, to answer your question, I'm not jonesing for the leverage of the 3x leveraged. I was wanting to play the indexes and make a little extra. And that's what I did.
The TQs, is that a bullish or is that a bearish leverage ETF?
Bullish. Yeah, bullish. The TQs, TQQQ, it's the 3x leveraged ETF to the NASDAQ. And yeah, there, for me, it's about index, right? If you believe the markets are going to go higher, they're going to sell off, play the indexes. Whether you play the SPY or you juice it up with UPRO on the 3X side, you're playing an index. I don't have to worry about a company's earnings. I don't have to worry about the CEO hanging with the secretary, right? I don't have to worry about them missing their number. I'm playing the index. And you know as well as I, when these things peel off, Wall Street buys them back. So we want to take advantage of those pullbacks.
And do your students, do you believe that the majority of them trade on margin, or do almost all of them just trade cash secured?
Well, my members, from the feedback I get, are largely buying the stock, writing covered calls. They're getting into retirement, so they want to learn the conservative strategy. They like how I present on YouTube, where I try to keep it as simple as possible with my stories of Jerry, with my stories of putting money on the table in retirement. They love the energy I try to bring to motivate them, inspire them. I show my money only because I just want to show you that if you put in the work, you can generate real income. Now, can you make that? I don't know, but this is what I've done. Seeing the world through my eyes. That's what I try to do on my channel. So when I talk to my members, they generally tell me they do sell a lot of puts. A lot of folks love the put side. They love the weekly put side. They love to play the couple days of time decay. And a lot of people make quite a bit of money. I really need to listen to some of my members because there's a lot of successful people out there selling premium. Folks, if you're listening, if you're watching this video and you have not sold premium, remember, we get paid up front. We win 2 times out of 3 possible outcomes. I'll take those odds all day. Been doing it for 5 years, David.
And your students, if a trade starts going against them and then it doesn't seem like that they fear assignment or they have any concern over getting assigned, because if you're selling at the money, to them, it doesn't seem like it matters whether the stock goes in the direction that they want, where they pocket the premium and then close out the trade early, or they get assigned. They really don't. It seems like they're relatively ambivalent to which outcome they to what the outcome is. Is that correct, or is it not correct?
Yeah, well, no. I think you're correct. Understand that I have a membership, and the membership is about being a part of my world. Okay, and I know that sounds odd, but I have ideas. I trade. I show everybody that's a member what I do. I give them ideas, so they come to my membership with their own strategy, or they ask me about strategies. And of course, I try my hardest to let everybody know, look, we have to make sure we have a plan, we execute the plan. That's the key. If you don't have a plan going into anything in life, you're going to be screwed. Have a plan, execute the plan. And once the plan is executed and it's going against you, then we have to have a plan to manage that. Now, my members, I don't have a trade alert membership. Okay. I send out, in fact, I sent you a couple this week. I send out what I'm watching. Okay. I do this more frequently with stocks that show up on my dashboards. We haven't talked about this, but the original idea behind my membership is the dashboards I created at cptdashboard.com. When I was starting my YouTube channel, I created all these spreadsheets. Jerry said, look, if you're going to be trading one stock multiple times, you have to keep the numbers in front of you. Get out a pencil and pad, and you have to write this down. Well, Jerry's old school. I mean, he would literally come in the gym saying, John, you did this trade, and he wrote it out on a yellow pad. And I'm like, Jerry, I'm not going to do that. So I created a spreadsheet. I would show people on my videos that spreadsheet. Well, there were other YouTube covered call gurus selling those spreadsheets for 20 bucks. And I thought it was absurd. So I created my own. I put them up on CPT dashboard. Look, free. I don't hit you with ads or nothing. You have my total income tracker where you place all your trades. You have your everything, buyback calculators, in the money calculators. So for me, it's about keeping the numbers in front of me. And I think I'm off the rails here, man. I forgot what you were asking me, bro. But hey, man, I get excited, man. I get excited because you and I think you and I connect. I totally connect with you in your videos because I think in a lot of ways, you and I are really alike. I think watching your early videos on YouTube, I mean, I could be totally wrong, but it seemed like you put out videos where you were trying to just beg people to understand the power of having success, doing something, making money. And you would tell stories. I haven't seen one of your old videos in a while, but it seemed like you would tell people your story. And to me, that's what I try to do. I literally try to tell people my story. And for me, a lot of people ask about YouTube and what you're making and this. Look, man, I got almost 10,000 subscribers. I make $200 a month. Trust me. At the end of the day, YouTube is about guys like David that comes to my channel. He tells me about how my video has changed his life because that jacks me up, keeps me at a high level because I want David to go out and have his own success and tell somebody else, not necessarily tell him about me, right? I want that success to pay it forward because at the end of the day, man, Jerry saved my trading life. Yeah, most definitely. So
And
anyway,
then
sorry about that.
how does your trading strategy change during a bear market? Like over the past 2 weeks, and I know that the market's been up significantly over the past 3 days, and today it was up significantly. I think it was up, the S&P was up about like 36, and then yesterday at one point I think it was down like 60, but then it closed up. So what happens like during a grind down market? Will you switch to selling calls, or will you, how's your strategy going to change?
Okay, so let's just go back to 2020. So March of 2020, the stock market crashes. And for 2 weeks, I am trying to keep it together. I mean, literally. My $225,000 account is just absolutely collapsing, just like everybody else's. I mean, I'm losing BMWs every day.
And
Okay,
if
let's face it.
you did it on margin, you would have, it would have been very difficult to.
Oh, very difficult. Yeah.
So that's
So this is great for my so this is great for my narrative, right? I'm in retirement. I can't take on that risk, but what am I going to do? So for 2 weeks, I talked to trusted friends, right? Because me, Mr. Optimistic, Mr. Half Cup Full guy, I'm feeling like the world is ending. So after about 2 weeks, I really pulled up my bootstrap and said, look, this is opportunity. Okay. For years, I talked about it. Market falls 10%. You need to look at that, man. You need to be looking at the storm, and you need to figure out how you can make money, because you can't make, this thing is not going to go up all the time. So you need to turn, while everybody's running, you need to turn and face it. You got to come up with strategies, because the bills don't stop. And that's the mindset I took. And I said, okay, it's March 2020. What am I going to do? Okay. We're all shut down, right? Everybody shut down. So after I kind of came out of that funk, I said, look, I am going to use the cash secure put, and we are going to cherry pick the biggest companies. And that's what I did. I mean, I was selling cash secure puts on Goldman Sachs as the market was rallying 1,000 points, falling 2,000 points, rallying another 1,000. I was using that volatility. I was in the storm. I guess the point there is, I'm going to use, to answer your question, I'm going to use the cash secure put where appropriate to generate some nice premiums while we weather the storm. Because you know as well as I do, the stock market these days sells them off to run them up to sell them off again. Okay, right. That's where you make big, sexy money today. It's on Wall Street. So you, as a home investor, have to buy into that. See, if you don't buy into that, you will always be the guy sitting on the bench, fearful that you're going to put money in the stock market and lose it. See, I look at these opportunities just like TQs the other day. I look at this as an opportunity. I could pick up fat premium. The market has sold off the NASDAQ considerably. I use it as an opportunity. And again, we manage the trade.
There's definitely a great opportunity when in March 2020, I think it was around like March 16th or so. I mean, the VIX spiked up over 80, which is one of the highest that it's ever been. But what I'm curious about is, and I think I know the answer, it's probably just that you wrote it out, and because you were selling cash secured, like your portfolio took a hit, but then after there was a V-shaped bottom, you then wrote it up as well, and then you were selling premium throughout it. So because the VIX was incredibly high and there was a lot of panic in the market, you were probably able to collect probably 4 to 5 times what you usually would, which definitely helped provide like.
Yes.
But
let me
interrupt
you. Let me interrupt you, okay? Because I've watched a couple of your videos, and you and I are on the same with what we do. You like to sell calls at the top of the range. You'll sell that call out of the range, expecting it to peel back.
Right.
Right? That's what I do. I love talking about how a stock will trade at the top of the Keltner channel. Keltner channel has been my rock solid indicator. I don't have all these magic things. The Keltner channel is a stock's trading range. When it trades at the top of the Keltner channel range, if you can sell premium, do it with the expectations it'll fall. And generally it does. Versus the Keltner channel mid to bottom. So lately, when I talk about stocks that are trading at the Keltner channel mid and bottom, we're looking to sell a cash secure put. We're looking to start a wheel. Hell, we're looking to buy 100 shares and then write the covered call as it moves higher. So I adopt your strategy of trading as well. I think you and I are really in tune to that, where stock goes higher, you write the call at the top, it peels back, you keep the premium. It falls, hits bottom, you sell the put, it goes higher, you keep the premium.
And for the covered calls that you end up selling, let's say you get assigned, how far away from the current market price do you usually sell them? So let's say it's $100 stock and it gets, let's say a stock, its usual trading range is about like 130 to 150. And let's say it sold off. Let's say you sold an at the money put at, let's just say like 100. And then it was assigned to you. So you're long the shares at 100. You'll then sell a covered call at approximately what price?
Okay, so I'll try to write a covered call at the money right there, 100.
Oh, wow.
I mean, well, no, wait a second. Did you say I did a cash secure put at 130?
No. So let's say like 2 months ago, it was trading at like 130 and then it fell. So you were like, okay, this is a great opportunity.
Okay.
There's high volatility in the stocks, so you're able to collect a significant amount of premium. You write an at the money put at like 100. Let's say for example purposes, it gets assigned at 100. And then you're like, okay, great. Well, this stock just a few months ago was trading at 130. It's a legitimate stock or it's an index. I'm now long at 100. You'll then decide to sell a covered call at what price?
Okay. So, all right. So I'm assigned the shares. My cost basis is $100. Now I've collected a little bit of premium, not much, depending where I made that trade. But what I like to do is the at the money. I mean, I'm all about the next 30 days. I try to tell people this 30 days. That's what I'm worried about. So in this scenario, I'm given the shares, I'm assigned the shares at 100. We're going to turn right around and sell the at the money strike because it's about the next 30 days. If the stock moves back to 130, hey, I've made max premium, or pardon me, I made max profit. Now, this is something you and I haven't talked about, but you get, I'm sure. People in the selling premium game, particularly writing cover calls, they're afraid to have their shares taken away. They're afraid that the stock goes back to 130 and they lost all that money. Well, you haven't lost nothing. What you've done is you've created a trade at 100. You've made max premium. And let's say it's a $100 stock. You get $7 for a 30-day trade. You've made 7%. It's about the next 30 days. I have put $700 on the table plus the premium I got for the cash secure put. Let's just say it's $2. That's $900 in, 30 something days. Look, I've owned NVIDIA at 145, sold a call. The thing traded to 600. I get this all the time too. Oh, well, you just held this, you just held that. I'm in retirement. I have to pay the bills. There's no coulda, woulda, shoulda here. I know people that bought 3M at 250 and AMC at 75. Where are you at? You ain't paying the bills. So for me, next 30 days, David, I sell the at the money strike. We move on.
Right. Yeah. So you're all about maximizing the amount of premium that you can collect, and that generally means selling an at the money option while also maximizing. Well, when you sell an at the money option, because you're collecting premium, you have a higher probability of profit than obviously as a day trader. Your probability of profit is probably, I don't know, around 60 to 65%, if not higher. Depends upon, the higher it would vary based upon the amount of premium you collect and the implied volatility in that specific stock and the VIX and the overall market as well. So yeah. Is there anything else that you'd like to say? Do you have any questions for me?
Well, I think if you'll give me the honor, we need to do this where I'm hosting because yes, I do. I have questions for you. But what I want to leave everybody with this, okay? On my videos, I talk about picking up a little crumb. It's been a theme for my videos over the past 5 years. I pick up 1 crumb, 2 crumbs. All of a sudden, we're talking real money. The reason I do that is because I have a friend that in the real estate boom, he absolutely was bringing in 6-figure incomes. Then the real estate market crashed. He had to pivot. He pivoted into a real estate management company, picking up crumbs. He told me he'd pick up $20 in a crumb where he would change somebody's light bulb or something. And he said that was when the light bulb went off. Pick up crumbs, because when you pick up little crumbs here and there, next thing you know, you're making real money. So for me, it's all about picking up crumbs, because as we have one successful trade turn into two successful trades, you're building your confidence, your mindset. You're also putting money on the table. So for anyone that's listening, okay, do understand, guys like David, hey, there's a lot of guys out there, myself. There's some gals out there too that are very good. I think what separates us, we sell the risk. I always tell people we sell the risk. You have an option buyer and an option seller. The option seller gets paid up front. Okay? I'd rather be in that position than the option buyer. All right? So do understand, when you sell premium, they pay you up front. That's money on the table. Millions of retirees around the world use covered calls and cash secure puts to pay the electric bill. So I use that mindset, that keeping it as simple as possible, as my motivation to inspire guys like you, David, to get in the game. Stop watching guys like me and you have success, because you can do it. And really, that's really my motivation. I mean, I love making Jerry proud, because Jerry and I still talk. He's 83 years old. My man's got 3,500 shares of Win, kicking ass, selling all kinds. He's 83, and I love it. We talk. We stayed friends through COVID. I would go visit him. We would talk. He'd ask me these questions, and he's a mentor. He's a best friend. I would say to anyone out there listening to David's channel, find that mentor in life. Somebody that is smarter than you, somebody that's more motivated than you, someone that you inspire to be, okay? Because that will get you off the couch and in the game. And you know what? At the end of the day, you can be proud of something. And I'll tell you what, you're probably making somebody's proud. Okay? Hey, that's my shtick, David. I love sharing my story, because my story is no different than anybody else that's a blue-collar cat with a 9-to-5 with a family that's trying to make the ends meet. Now, I do have a portfolio that's a little bigger than most, but at the end of the day, whether you're using one stock or 10 stocks, you can do it.
I love what you said, and I want to reiterate about picking up crumbs or hitting singles. I think that one of the primary reasons why people fail when they trade is that they take very low probability trades and they try to hit home runs, and instead they end up striking out. So exactly what you said, when you put the odds in your favor and you hit singles or you pick up crumbs, eventually those crumbs add up to an entire cake. And because the probability of profit is so high, then you're actually taking control over your future, because you're making a deposit every single time you sell premium and take in that money. So I think that's a great example where you're encouraging people, hey, guys, I know that you want to make 1,000% a year. I want to make 1,000% a year too. But look at the emotional toll that comes along with even attempting to make that type of returns, when the reality is the probability of you accomplishing that is infinitesimally, I don't even know if that's a word, but it's incredibly small. So you're much better off regulating your emotions, reducing stress, picking up crumbs, hitting singles, and building your portfolio over time so that you stay in the game and that you're consistently profitable. I think that's an amazing message.
Hey, I appreciate it. And David, if I could just mention my YouTube channel, it's Core Position Trading. If you actually YouTube covered calls, you'll probably see one of my videos. If you want some of the spreadsheets that I have created, they're all free, no spam, no advertisements. Keep the numbers in front of you as you learn this game. CPT-dashboard.com. That's Core Position Trading. Dashboard.com, CPT-dashboard.com. And I also do have a membership, and my membership is not a stock trade alert, but you kind of got a little flavor as to what I do for my members. I try to give them content that's relevant interesting, but seeing the world through my eyes, because I have been successful. And that's not bragging and boasting. You and I see things differently. We have been in this game so long, we see things that others don't. I could see the play developing that I try to tell people. So for me, my membership is about having access to all my upgraded tools and dashboards. My dashboard is filled with stocks that I update every week, every Wednesday. There's a reason for that too, but every Wednesday with the best stocks trading now, so you can start your research for the next covered call or selling premium candidate. And of course, you get all my emails. I mean, I'm going to email you what I'm thinking, because I want to show you the world through my eyes. I want you to be successful. I don't charge you nothing. It's under 20 bucks. And I love it because all the feedback I get and all the success stories I hear. So if anybody wants to come aboard, I'll welcome you aboard. But anyway, so thank you very much, David. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. And for the people who are watching the video on your channel, if you want, you can go to beststockstrategy.com, and I also sell options, and you can put your email in there and receive some free training. And John, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I'm glad that we had the opportunity to sit down and discuss. And I just love speaking with option sellers, because there are so many people out there who encourage viewers to just engage in very risky and low probability trading, like day trading and things of that nature, or Forex trading. And hey, if that's your cup of tea, if you're watching this and you want to day trade or trade Forex, hey, no problem. I can just tell you that I've been there. From John's experience, he was also day trading as well. And we wanted to bring you this discussion because we believe that it benefits you to engage in higher probability trading and to sell premium so that you collect that money up front. All right. So
most definitely. Thank you, David. I appreciate it. And I really hope there are folks out there that are on the fence. They give you an email, they visit my site. I think at the end of the day, we're good guys. We're just we're just sharing our talent. And if you want to be a part of that, you got to put some skin in the game. But at the end of the day, I'll tell you what, man, financial freedom is powerful. It's powerful in this world. So I actually love sharing my story. I love hearing your story, by the way. Hey, until next time, David, may all your covered calls be profitable.